Today's video is brought to you by Oxido LED lighting. You might think that you can see just fine at night. Well, I did too, until I did this little upgrade. As you can see from this footage, here is some before Oxido LED lighting, and here is some after Oxido LED lighting. The difference is amazing. With high brightness and easy installation, Oxido LED lighting is definitely the route for you. They're easy to install, and they're available for all makes and models. Click on the link in the description below and enter promo code 612motorsports at checkout to get yourself 15% off. Now back to our video.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of 612 Motorsports. Before we get too far into today's episode, go ahead and hit that subscription button. Give this video a thumbs up after you've watched it. Leave a comment below on anything that you see. All of that stuff is so helpful. You really don't understand, and it is very greatly appreciated. So, let's get into it. Today we are going to be putting new U-joints in our junkyard drive shaft so that I know we have everything good and new, moving well and nice. I don't want to put this thing in and then end up having some squeaks or some clunks or something, some binding issues or whatever have you, and then have to take it back out and do this process again. So since it's out, we're just going to go ahead and put in some new U-joints and throw her in here and get rid of that dang vibration. As you can see, I've got 3 brand new U-joints. I've got a couple of sockets to help pound those in. I've got my BFH, and I've got a little bit of 4/0 steel wool to clean this shaft up here that slides into the transmission. Now, it looks a little rough inside there, but I think I'll be able to clean that up at work a little bit better than I will be able to here, just because I have limited toolage here at the house. But as you can see, I've got it laid out as to how it's going to be. Now, if you remember in the previous video, taking the old U-joints out, and if you haven't seen that, I'll put a link somewhere up in one of these corners. You'll be able to see we took it out. Now, I want to put it back together in the same manner as we took it apart so that we don't have any balance issues or anything weird. You know, I want to make sure that I put the right ends back together so that everything is the way it was when we got it. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this end down here, being that it is the smaller end and probably a little bit easier to work with. So we're going to be using Moog U-joints number 534G, and this is a greasable unit. So what we're going to have to do is open this bad boy up, find the hole, which is right there, and we're going to throw this little grease zerk in there so that we can service this thing when needed. Oh, that's just kind of being a little stubborn. Okay. And that's an 8mm. So we'll go ahead and give that a few turns. We'll snug it down nice. And then we know we're good. Don't want to put too much torque on it, but lock her down good, and then that way we can hook a grease gun up to it. Now, if you're not familiar with these are called caps. There's one on all 4 corners, and what they're going to do is spin and allow things to kind of move in a gyroscopic motion, I guess. They are filled with little needles, needle bearings that line the inside, and that's what rolls. So when you apply the grease here, it fills this chamber up and pushes it through this hole here into the cap, keeping everything lubed well. You want to be careful not to lose any of those needle bearings or have them tip or fall. That just gets to be a big pain in the butt when you try to put them all back. So we're going to try to be extra careful with that. So the best way to really go about this is to do one section at a time. So I'm going to take off the cap on two sides. Okay, and I'm going to put it in there like so. I'm going to stick the cap on the bottom section and then place the cap on the top section. Okay, and I'm going to take my socket and put it on the top and then use my BFH. Probably use the blunt side. And tap that into place. Now by doing so, the bottom side should have also pounded in somewhat, which it did. Now what I'm gonna have to do is be careful. You want to pound it in far enough to where it actually seats all the way, but not too far. Because what you end up having are these little slots on the inside. Now it looks like I could maybe go, I should probably do a little bit more. And I think what I'm going to do for this is just give it a good wrap. Give that a spinderella. And give it another blast. It looks like it kind of pushed it out there. So what we're going to do is put one of our retention rings on. It's a snap ring, really. And that's what holds the cap on. And they're very self-explanatory. What's going to happen is that's going to slide through this little section here, just like so. Now that side is hooked on and it can't go, the cap can't come off. So now I can give this side a good wrap, which will allow us more clearance here for this snap ring. So we're going to just push it on and bam, just like so. So now we're going to put this section on. So I'm going to give it a spin, and I'm going to remove our two caps. And put our end on. Now, since we have that set, we can put our caps on, being careful to not mess up those needle bearings. Now these are only going to go in so far by hand. That's why you need to place it so. Now you can see there's a good amount of room in there. So what I'm going to do now is put a snap ring in just to hold that from going anywhere. So now that I can turn this over and give this side a good wrap. And not quite far enough. As you can see, I got a little play here, a little unlevel ground, which is not helping my case a whole lot, but we're going to do what we can. And that looks like it's probably pretty good there. So we're going to go ahead and try to slide this on. Okay. We've got, let's see here. As you can see, we got our brass snap ring in position there. We have our grease access point there. Now this whole side is done. So that was pretty painless, and as you can see, it just allows for good rotation in all the directions. Now we're going to put in the one on that end. So we're just going to repeat that process again. Open up our package. I went ahead and put this last one in over here. And since this one's going to be mounted to the rear end with some strap clamps, what I did is gone ahead and just put the C-clips in the cap on the U-joint, and then I put some tape over the end just to keep the needle bearings and everything clean and clear from getting messed up or anything, or losing them. That just wouldn't be good. So as you can see, we've got all three U-joints now installed. That's how you throw U-joints in quick and easily. You can do it in your driveway, in front of your garage. Doesn't take a lot of tools, which is nice, and it's not that difficult. It's definitely a lot harder to get them out than it is to put them in, but if you do have the right tools, getting them out isn't all that difficult either. So, if you didn't know how to do U-joints before, you do now. I do appreciate you watching today's video. Please, again, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Please stay tuned for the next video where we go ahead and swap out this drive shaft for the other one in the tan truck. Now that one's going to be a little more involved because we are going to have to switch yokes on the rear end because this is a different drive shaft, different style altogether. It's what should have been in there. It's actually the same kind as what's in the green one, but we have this constant velocity one in the tan truck, and it's a whole different setup as far as where the U-joints go, and every connection has a U-joint here and a U-joint there. So there's two there, there's two there, and there's two there, and that's just a bunch of crap. And like I said, they were going to charge me $700 to rebuild that drive shaft when I bought this whole piece for $100, and I've got like $25 in these U-joints. So definitely a huge savings, and it's something I can do myself, and it's something you can do yourself. You don't necessarily need to change drive shafts, but in my case, that's what I have to do. But if you have to at least change a U-joint, now you know how. It's not that difficult. So, with that being said, stay tuned for the next video, like I said, where we'll be swapping this out. And as always, stay positive, work hard, and make it happen.